Hey guys, this week we're going to be doing something not quite sure if it'll work. I have several of these discs. They come off my chop saw. They're just too small. They only make contact with just this little bit right here, and they're really just too small to actually do anything with. So what the plan is to take this disc, build a fixture so that I can hold it in my mill. Now, I don't know if my mill will spin fast enough. It only goes like 2200 RPM. I don't know if that's actually physically fast enough for this to do any work. Because these things usually spin like 10,000 RPM or something. But this is what I'm starting with. I cast this a few weeks back, and it's just been sitting at the side for a while. It started off like this, okay? And all I did was I cut it. The top part of this will be gone, doesn't matter what it looks like, and everything from this face up will be gone. The plan is to take this, make it round. I don't want to lose too much of this face. I'll pick that up. And then this piece here is going to be also turned around and all the way down. And I'm going to make this round shaft so that it will sit in the mill, and it'll spin, and it'll sit with this like this. And then this flat piece will, I don't know if I actually want to put a groove on this or groove on this, but there will be a, on one of these, there will be a 1-inch bump to fit into that hole, and then this piece will be drilled, tapped, so that I can put a bolt up through it. So, like I said, I don't know if it's going to work, and I expect my explanation was a little vague, but let's give it a shot. I want to get rid of as much of this material as possible, as quickly as possible. So, let me take a second to talk about my bandsaw first. It is a crappy job mate, and when I got it, the band on it was only 48 and something inches. And if you know bandsaws, you know that they don't come in 48 and something inches. So I took and cut it apart. I raised it up 6.5 inches, or maybe 7.5, I don't recall. And I put a 56 and an 1/8 band on it, and I do still need a top guard for it. I have this guy, but as you can see, it's not really long enough to be effective as anything. And when I put this in, it actually forces the blade forward quite a bit, which causes it to kink. So I'm not going to bother with that. I'm just going to build a whole new piece that'll slide in there. Even without, I mean, it's fairly stable. You saw me cutting, and well, except for the fact that it was drawing in some of this crap. It does cut fairly well. We are getting ready for step 2. Trying something a little different here. I'm using the GoPro and recording the audio separately because the audio on the GoPro sucks, but we'll see how this works out. Hopefully it'll be okay. So I have my piece here that I cut off. Set up in between the centers. This side, basically just hit it with a punch, and I've adjusted the back side here because it's a really weird shape and it's basically cut by hand really quickly. There's no real way to center it, so all I did was I took the heights. Probably can't even see where my finger is right now. I took the heights off the jaws and just sort of evened them out close enough, and hopefully that'll work okay. So let's make sure my cutter's in the center of the screen, and it basically is. I'm going to lock our table down. Good. Okay, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a really clean, like a really shallow pass on the top. Then I'm going to turn it 90 degrees, and that'll make a really deep cut. Turn it another 90, cut it again, turn it the third time, and cut it again. If there's any material that hasn't been hit, I might go down, depending on how much it is. But we'll see about that when that comes up. So let's go. Alright, now that it is close enough to square, we're going to give it a quick measure on both ends. Oops. Got to bring this out a little bit more. Hopefully it's still in view. we got? 768. And over here, 760, close enough. So now we need to round this off. And to do that, we just bring our end mill in and start turning. I'm just marking the face that I started at. I should have done it earlier, but I didn't. Oh well. Alright, now we have it round. You can see it kind of looks like a tiger, zebra stripes here because just because of the way the bottom of the cutter cuts, it may leave one part that's a half thou larger, and then just the light hitting it magnifies. Alright, what I want to do is I'm going to lower it, say 20 thou, come in and start on this side, and just slowly work my way over only using half of the cutter, and that'll give me a much nicer surface. Switch back to my other camera here just for a second because I want to show you what I'm doing, but actually, like, showing you the whole process is just, it'll take too long. What I've done here is I've set up the fly cutter to be basically in line with this edge, and I'm basically making this curve. Alright, so that's the four corners. You get an idea of what I'm trying to do. And I'll be back when this whole section is all done, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do to the end of it. Finish that, and I've actually flipped this around because I'm going to be machining this edge right here now. But I sanded it a little bit because there was a couple high spots, and it turned out really well. There's a couple bubbles. You can see one right above my finger there. And then this one here is a big one. I'm going to probably have to fill with JB Weld. I'll take it, file it out a little bit, use a Dremel and clean it up, and then just fill it. But we're going to switch back to the GoPro, and I'm going to machine this round, and then I'm going to get in here as best I can and machine a 1-inch, use this hand here instead, I'm going to machine a 1-inch circle. Like, I'm going to machine everything except for 1 inch, which is what the center of this guy is. I'm going to do the face first, just so I know how deep I need to go. So there, we're still way above the spot I need to be at, but this will be close enough that I can measure it after I've created a circle. Alright, that was our first pass. We're going to just take a quick measurement. Alright, we got a measurement of 246. So we need to come down 500 thou, and then we'll take another measurement. Alright, the Z-axis on my mill is a little awkward to use. I might explain that in an upcoming video. But I only came down 400 thou instead of the 5. Alright, we'll give this a measure and find out what we need to come down. Sitting at 127. So I need to come down 50 thou. And then that'll leave a little bit of space for fine-tuning it. Alright, and this should be our last measurement. At 1. Yeah, that's it. We're done. Now all I need to do is go in enough to give this something to sit on. And then just finish up the outside. Double check the size. We're good there. Let's go in another 20 or maybe even 30, and now we'll call that finished. Now I've come back up. I've checked it. I've spun this all the way around, and it is going to cut all the surfaces. So all I'm going to do is start here and feed it through until I've cut everything. Alright, so there we go. It's all machined. A little bit of a cavity there, but not a big deal. Everywhere else it's pretty solid. And this is just for clearance. It doesn't really matter what it looks like. Here we got the end. I've cleaned the chips off, give it a little file. I sanded the corner, this corner, and this corner in the back here. And I did the best to sand this little corner at the top, just to make sure it would fit okay. And as you can see, let's get a little bit of a different lighting situation going here. The metal part on the disc is actually chamfered, so that's why it looks like there's such a gap there. But if I grab this and pull it over to one side, you can see that it is moving, but it's only about 2 thou or so play, 2 or 3 thou. So that's it for the actual spindle part. Now I got this guy that I'm going to mount in the rotary table. I got to turn the rotary table over. I apologize for the light here. Let's do this. I got to take the rotary table, lay it flat, but first I got to clean all this off. And this will go in here. I'll machine the face. I got to put a hole in it. And actually, I got to drill and tap this guy too. Okay, first things first, I got to take, you can't really see it here because it's really short, but I have a center drill in there. I just want to pop a little bit of a hole in there and we'll continue. Alright, now that we've got that drilled out to just larger than the bolt, at this point really doesn't matter how much clearance there is because I've got the disc locating on this ring here, but I want to keep stuff as tight as possible. So, a little looser than I'd like, but I think it'll work. Now, I'll pop in my, now we'll just put the end mill in there, because I got to do this face, and then I got to do halfway down the side. So, I'll be back when that's complete. I already faced the top off. Didn't bother recording it, because you've seen me use the fly cutter 100 times. There, I'm still about 60 thou above that jaw, so that should be okay. Edge of our cut to be approximately there. So right there should be okay. Lock the table. I'm only going to come down about 20 or maybe 30 thou. Alright, that's it for that. Now all I need to do is flip it over until I cut it flat. I've got the disc all set up here. Open this guy. I didn't fill in this hole yet. I've tried it a few times running it on low speeds. It seems to be okay. This is the first time I'm going to try it on a high speed. I did have to sand off a little bit on this end to get it to fit in this in the collet properly. It was just a tiny bit too big. But basically the idea behind this is I can cut slots. It would have been perfect for the copy attachment that I built. But I got this just so this is a piece of scrap that I cast. I had plans for this end of it, but it didn't work out. So I'm just going to cut off this little piece at the top and show you how that works out. I got the machine on high, got this all clamped down nice and tight. I'm starting really low and I'm going to speed it up as I go.
I should point out there is a little bit of a wobble in it. I don't know if it was the shaft not being true to the end of this, or if it was the disc itself not being true when it was put in the machine. But there is a little bit of a wobble, and it should work itself out after a few cuts. I'm putting my gloves on for this, just in case this thing explodes. You saw there it stopped for a second. That's all I did was turned up the speed a little bit and stopped feeding so quickly. But I didn't want to go all the way through and have this piece like ricocheting all over here. So let's see if I can focus this in real tight here. There you can see it I just broke it off in this corner right here. That's all that was hanging on, and it is a fairly nice cut. Pull this guy out. Now you can see it fairly nice cut right in here, and then this is where most of the meat of that cut was. You know, assuming it'll focus. There it is. Alright, if you have any suggestions on what I could build next, or any questions about this project, just leave a comment. And you guys have yourselves a good day.